Hey, Thomas in San Diego, California. Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and I'm going to show you how I cut plus 250 reading glasses for your RayBan 2132 new Wayfarer color 6012, which is the tortoise beige in the 55 eye size. So let me open everything up as RayBan sends it to me. There's all the original packaging, your Italian leather RayBan case, your RayBan frame, your RayBan cleaning cloth that I will put back into your case. And this is your new Wayfarer frame in the color 6012. Always comes with a crooked sticker straight out of the box. And they also sent it to me with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to prevent the temples from rubbing together during shipping. If they think it's a good idea to do one, well, Thomas, I'm going to put a second one on yours when I ship it to you, so we'll have twice the protection. But from now, let me remove all the original packaging that RayBan sends me, and you will receive all of that. I am going to take out your heavy original glass lenses that if you drop them on the ground they shatter, and instead install lightweight reading glasses. So I'm going to take your Italian frame, put it into my Italian Santanelli. This is the LE1000 patternless edger. The stylus is popped up to trace the shape of the left lens, and then it's going to move over and trace the shape of the right. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy a genuine authentic frame and receive free single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses, but in this case you actually got the line style bifocal with no prescription in the top and just a plus 250 in the bottom. So I'm going to type in one measurement here. I'm going to make a few other selections for your lens material, and this is being cut for a plastic frame. So I'm going to take your right lens. This is the size before I begin, and I need to make it fit into this frame here. So I'm going to drop this lens 4 millimeters below the optical center, and this is actually what's known as a block. This is what's going to stick onto your lens and hold it in place while it cuts inside the lathe. So I need to put a double-sided sticker on this block. So 3M, the same people who make Post-it notes, make some double-sided adhesives. The black side is the sticky side, so I'm going to stick that onto the block, pull away the tape on my side, make this side sticky, and then essentially I've got the crosshairs of a scope. I have a vertical meridian and a horizontal one, and I want to make sure that your bifocal line stays horizontal and 4 millimeters below the optical center of this frame. I'm going to do the same thing for the left lens. Take it out of its protective foam packing that is shipped to me, put it in, get another block, put the block on, line everything up where it is 4 millimeters below center, and we are good to go. So I'm going to put your right lens into the chuck, or as I like to say, the Charles, because I don't know the machine well enough to call that a chuck. But the first thing that's going to happen, apart from the bad free optical humor, is these calipers are going to come down and it's going to trace the shape of the right side of your frame to make sure this is large enough to fit into your frame. It's starting with the rear surface, the back surface, also known as the concave surface, which is closest to your eyelashes. Then it's going to move over and trace the convex side of the lens, which sits away from the face. The actual cutting wheel is down here on the bottom left-hand side. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper that's going to grind away your lens material. And this wheel in the center, that little channel, that valley, that's going to put the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. I will have to close the door in a moment, but for now I just want you to see as your prescription reading lenses touches down onto the cutting wheel. So your lenses will have both UVA and UVB protection. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes, the way your skin is sensitive to the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays. Well, your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes now. This whole process should take about 15 minutes. It's now 5:29, Saturday, July 5th, 75 degrees in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina, at least according to my Samsung Gear 2 watch. If you notice, your lens is completely flat all the way around, like a nickel. It could stand up on its own if now the bevel has been put onto the lens. It is now washing away any optical debris or optical sawdust, if you will. I'm just going to make sure the camera lens is dry, that no water has splashed on it. So the unit of measurement we use in the optical field is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R. It starts at 0 being plano, no prescription, which is what you have in the top of your lens, and then goes up in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1. You ask for a 2.50 lens, so essentially you're on the 10th rung of the ladder for magnification. You need 0 magnification for your distance lenses. So we have essentially clear window pane in the top, and we're going to have a 250 in the bottom for your reading. Now you still have a little bit of rough edges here, some burrs if you will, that are left over from the cutting cycle. So I want to use my hand stone to smooth all of that off. My hand stone, I can put my finger on when it's running, and my finger gets warm due to the friction, but it's that friction that allows me to go around the outside of the lens and smooth all that off. So I want to take a paper towel and remove any optical debris from the edge of your lens. And then to see if this fits now, I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner, and using my thumbs I press down at the nose, and there's still a little bit of give left, so I don't want to force it into the frame. I'm going to take it down about 1/10 of a millimeter around the circumference of your lens, and a millimeter is the distance between my thumbnails. I'm going to take 1/10 of that distance off, going all the way around the lens until it pops in easily. I don't want to force it into this frame for a couple reasons. One, it will stretch or disfigure the frame. I'm very particular, since I'm a one-man show, when I cut every pair of lenses that is shipped worldwide out of this lab, and I'm going to make sure it fits perfectly before it goes into your frame. The other nice thing, that years from now, should you ever need other lenses for this frame, I can send them right to you, to whereas if I cut these too large and I stretched your frame, whoever comes behind me, including me, if they cut a perfect pair of lenses and your frame has been stretched, well, they're just not going to fit. So, optician's oath, whatever that is, secret handshake, yeah, I'm going to make sure they're perfect. Yes, I am a licensed optician. I take my job very seriously, just not me. Alright, so it is done. Let's see if the right lens fits. The golden rule, you can always cut more off of a lens, you can never add it back on, so I always start a little bit large and work my way down till it fits perfectly. So back to the handstone real quick, just to smooth off those leftover sharp edges. Smooth that off. And now let's go ahead and get the left lens mounted. The right lens. Let's get the right lens mounted. So what I do is I start at the outside corner and I tuck it in at the outside corner first, then using my thumbs I press down at the nose. And I figured it would fit, I just can't get my thumbs around the block that's there. So that's snapped in perfectly. I'm going to flip this over and we're going to cut the left lens. I hit the start button, the chuck closes, or as I like to say, the Charles. I'll meet you halfway, the Charlie. The Charlie has closed. And the calipers are going to come down, but this time they're going to trace the shape of the left side of your frame to make sure that your left lens is large enough to fit. As always, starting with the concave surface, the rear surface closest to your eyelashes, then it's going to move over and trace the convex side of the lens. The reason why it does it twice is it uses the calipers to measure the thickness of the lens to know exactly where to place the bevel so it sits inside the frame the best. Now with your prescription, it's not going to be critical, but for the people where I cut prescription lenses all day long, it is. So once your left lens starts cutting, I'm going to keep working on your right. So this block is no longer needed. I'm going to pop that off. And dry everything off. And I have a little graph that tells me that everything is cut straight. Perfect. We are good to go. Now, this is the new Wayfarer model number 2132 from RayBan. This is color 6012, which is the tortoise and beige. We have, where was I? I used to have the classic tortoise around here, but this is such a brilliant color. And the orange really stands out from the classic tortoise, which almost looks black unless you're outside. But this tortoise and beige is a really hot color right now, especially in the summertime. I wear it a lot. Of course, in San Diego, it's always pretty hot there. So if you have your linens or whites, this is going to look really, really good with any of the linen clothing that you wear. I wear the same frame. This is color 6052, which is the blue crystal. I wear this one about 80% of the time because generally I have a blue shirt on. You caught me the one day that I'm not wearing a blue shirt. But I pop my lens out of one color every day and into a different color depending on what I'm wearing. And I left the white ones at home because I just got back from vacation and my sunglass lenses are in the white ones. By the way, the cleaning cloth I just used, you will be receiving a cleaning cloth from RayBan. I'm also going to be sending you one of my own premium microfiber cleaning cloths with instructions on how to care for not just your cleaning cloth, but your Italian leather RayBan case as well as your RayBan frame, so they will last you for years and years. There's no other seller on the internet doing that. I am the only one. So now let's make sure that the left lens fits. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner, and using my thumbs I press down at the nose and it snaps in perfectly. So let me take this block off, dry everything off here, go back to my graph to make sure that both bifocals height are the same and level, and they are. That is perfect. So that is that. The one more thing I want to do is I want to get the frame in standard alignment. Well, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to get it in standard alignment before I ship it to you. So if these are too loose or too tight, or if they're high on one side when you get them, just stop by any local shop and they'll adjust it for you for free, because 80% of people have one ear that's higher than the other, and I'm no different. So when I take mine off and set them on the counter, mine wobble on the counter. But I'm going to make sure yours are in standard alignment, also known as a 3-point stance, 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I place it on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. I flip it over, press down. There is no wobble. I make sure that each temple overlaps the other perfectly, and there's the same amount of tension on each hinge, and there is. So that's that. So if anyone has any questions about what I can and can't do, although there's nothing I can't do, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. And Thomas, I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut reading glasses for your RayBan 2132 new Wayfarer, color 6012, the tortoise beige. And everyone else got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.